Hey, peace world. Just finished up with some of this yard work for the day. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Gonna get into a little bit of bite down boxing talk. Just kind of while I was mowing this yard, kind of reflecting on the Lomachenko and Campbell fight, and the fallout from it. Some of the criticisms and some of the people that want to take shots at Lomachenko for some of them are valid reasons. I'm not even really going to defending anything specifically, but I'm just a couple of takeaways that I had from the fight. One thing about Lomachenko that I really enjoy watching, I get the sense that there's a true competitive spirit with the guy. Did he run away from divisions before it was people to fight? I don't know. But I mean, he's set out on this quest, and there was a path for it to happen, for him to possibly unify these belts. And at lightweight, I think maybe there was some early on. There was some thinking of going to lightweight could produce the fight with Garcia. That fell apart. That's not necessarily his fault. But, is anybody from 126 and 130, have they come out and said my objective or what I want to do next is go up and face him? I haven't heard that happen. So, like I said, I think he's right here on the cusp of having, an opportunity, to realize the goal of becoming an undisputed champion. And I think either one of those two guys is an interesting matchup for him. And maybe the best matchup in this sequence, in these last, as he's tried to accomplish this goal. So, yeah, I appreciate the dude's competitive spirit. On fight night, he seems to like to fight. He seems to like to mix it up. I can respect that. I like that he's constantly testing his opponent, and pressuring them and challenging them. Even just mentally, he stays in range. He's doing different things, not just throwing punches, but he's doing different things, getting to certain angles, getting reactions out of his opponent. And maybe they use the term downloading a lot, but maybe he's observing some things and saving those for later. I felt like he was having some success with working his way inside, coming in different ways, not always coming in the front door the same way, but then being able to catch Campbell up top with some stuff that he didn't even see. And like I said, that's a beautiful thing to watch. You watch a lot, and he is slowing down. He's not doing all of the getting on guys' shoulders and getting to different angles and spinning guy. You're not seeing that right now. He is 31. I mean, he's had the surgeries. It is some wear and tear on the guy. He's not a perfect guy. A few people have said that, fighters have said that he's beatable or he's not unbeatable. And I think we're seeing some of that. But again, who's actually out there trying to make that fight happen besides young Haney? And we've heard Teo, say some different things and call him out, but it's none of the 130 champs out there trying to create that fight or push for that fight, push for that opportunity. Third thing, only got one more. Third thing is I like that he can be trusted by his team and by his promoter to pretty much, he proved going over here and fighting, in his opponent's backyard, in his opponent's home country, being hurt, punching, he takes breaks when he needs to, while still, pressuring his guy and challenging, like I said, testing the guy, or hiding the fact that he's taking a break. Like I said, he can, like now, I mean, we see some fighters not taking certain challenges across the board in all divisions. We see certain guys who aren't willing to do certain things because there's a lack of trust in them, coming through it unsuccessful. But I think he showed some things the other night. He made some mistakes. Campbell made him pay for it, but he didn't. He didn't totally lose it. He clinched a little bit when he needed to. He backed away, got on his bike when he needed to. He got hurt and fought out of being hurt. And I think later in the fight, when he had a big rally against Campbell, he actually, right after being hurt, he landed a good shot and then continued to mix it up instead of, clinching or dancing around a little bit. So, like I said, he's a guy I think he can be dropped in multiple situations. We saw him get hurt against Linares. We saw how he responded to that. And like I said, this is one of the intriguing things if we should get that Gervonta Davis fight, and I keep mentioning it. Obviously, it's one we want to see. I would love to see Lomachenko and what he does against an offensively gifted guy like Tank. And a guy with Tank's power and his whole mix of offensive skills. I would love to see that. And hope maybe it's something they can get worked out. I see some stuff online right now about Tank possibly moving up. I guess it might have been on Twitter. I haven't looked into that yet. And then my fourth point, my fourth and final point. So there's the thinking that he can be hit. And he did catch some shots. He did get rocked. But that doesn't mean, along with, we might say that Luke Campbell is a basic fighter. We don't know, what he goes on to do next. He is facing guys on the world class level. And, hasn't always been successful. That is his third loss. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have good timing. And that's what beats speed and quickness and all of that, is good timing and anticipation. And he outlanded Lomachenko in body shots. And that's when we hear that every week. We hear guys who should be going to the body based on the type of opponent and the advantages of the opponent. And they never even go to the body. And here's a guy that smartly, went to the body. And like I said, that might be the one thing where Campbell is maybe a little above average or good at, is timing. And he's also a longer guy. And I thought he kept his hands, especially earlier in the fight, I thought he kept his hands busy enough to where sometimes he was just touching him. He just had some punches in progress already, and maybe Lomachenko ran into it. I don't really want to make too much on the whole Lomachenko's better at 130, he's better at 126. I don't really know. I mean, in some regards, man, all of these guys, who knows? Who knows what a guy walks around at? Who knows how a guy is struggling to make whatever weight? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know things inside and out like that. He does look like a smaller guy to me. He does look like he's at the last rung that he can go up in terms of weight divisions. So, I think he's maxed out on that. Just like we saw Pacquiao go up to I think, didn't he fight I thought Margarito might have been super welterweight, but we saw him put a toe in the water, at super welterweight, and that really wasn't where he really needed to be. Was the De La Hoya fight up there, or the catchweight or something? I don't know, but I thought he dabbled around at super welterweight, and that was really kind of where his mix of skills kind of, it was just too much for him. But I think but what I'll say, and I'll say this to finish, the one interesting thing that we'll get some type of context in looking at what happened to Lomachenko against Campbell, when we watched this fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Shawn Porter, on September 28th. You know, what is Shawn Porter going to do to get where to be where he needs to be to really be his most effective? Is he going to stand outside or maybe even stand mid-range and try to throw shots like he tried to do against you guys when he just clearly wasn't, you know, he was missing a lot of those shots trying to box from outside. He's a shorter armed, a wider torsoed guy, a broad shoulder guy with the short arms. You're not going to make your living being on the outside. And so it'll be interesting, you know, like I said, yeah, he got hit, Lomachenko. Yeah, he got hit. But he kept having the heart to go inside, to get to where he needed to be, to do what he was trying to do. And, you know, he was getting inside and slipping some shots. He was getting inside, even resting sometimes. He would take some steps in and not necessarily do anything. But like I said, he was getting reactions out of Campbell that he was picking up on for later. So it's just kind of some things. It's not really playing devil's advocate, but it's a different way to kind of interpret some of the action that we saw Saturday. And like I said, he may not be a no, I'm not on him the way that Joe Tessitore is or Mark Kriegel and the production, you know, of the ESPN shows. No, I might not be on him in that manner, but he's a very interesting boxer to watch. He puts on a good fight. He does a lot of different high level things, and he behaves like a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So and he happens to be in a division where he can go on this run trying to you know, become undisputed. And sometime at the beginning of next year, it looks like we'll get the opportunity to see how it unfolds. And like I said, I like both of those fights, whether it be Richard Comey, the current IBF champion, or if young Teofimo Lopez should figure it out and get past Comey and move into the finals with, so to speak, with Lomachenko. So again, man, like I said, I don't really have to defend the dude. I really don't have to defend Top Rank. You all are exceptional boxing fans and exceptionally knowledgeable of the game and what you're seeing, and you have your own stances on it. Just talking my stuff here, Bite Down Boxing. Don't let them count you out. Peace.